Okay, now this is basically just a tidbit file. This is video file number 4, okay, that I'm making because video file number 3 ran out of memory time. And I didn't know that it was going to run out before it did. So, when you watch video number 3, video number 1, 2, and 3, their video YouTube titles will be in the description of this YouTube video. Watch them, because I guarantee you will be glad that you did. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. This is video number 4 of a 4-part video series, and they are good. You gotta watch them. They're mind-blowing. Now, the reason why I'm making this particular video is in order to be able to make closing statements in reference to what video number 3, what I was stating at the tail end of video number 3. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. Today's date is January 19th, 2013. I'm about ready to literally show you a video picture of my cell phone right now, in order to be able to literally prove to you that that's what is today's date. Okay, as soon as I can get this situated here. Hold on one second. Now we're going to see if anything happened at this hiking area over the weekend pertaining to where I'm at right now. And as soon as I get on my sweatshirt, I'm going to If you hear any talking in the background, it's the assholes they set up about 100 feet away who yell gang-stalking from a distance, and they'll lie about it up and down the road. Okay? If anybody approaches me at this hiking area today, or tries to walk up to my tent, including, but not limited to, them, any of their friends, landlords or property owners, and or police, will it be connected to gang-stalking? Especially when I'm making the video. Okay? Now, where they're hiking at, they got a tent set up about 100 feet away, but what they did was they created a walking ledge from their tent, and then once they get to the end of that walking ledge, it's very close to mine on the other side of a very small creek. And they did that so they can get closer to my area to say gang-stalk and suck my you-know-what and then laugh about it. That's right. And so I'm making a prediction right now that if any problems transpire at this hiking area today or tomorrow, I don't care how it's brought about or what excuse is used, and even if it happens as I'm making a video like I'm doing right now, will it be connected to gang-stalking? Okay, now I'm going to prove to you that I'm a target victim and activist concerned in this crime, but let me first turn on my phone. Again, you got to look at video number 1, 2, and 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to label this video 4-part video series with the same title, but at the end of each title we'll have 1, 2, 3, and 4 pertaining to first video, second video, third video, fourth video. So whatever YouTube video title is in the description of this YouTube video, there's 4 of them. Each one will be labeled and titled the same way, except at the end of each title will have a number, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that way you don't have to constantly go back and recopy and paste the title into YouTube. Once you get done watching the first one, just change the 1 to a 2 and you'll be able to bring up the second one. Now this is me showing you a video picture of my phone, which shows you the date and the time. And there's a feature in the tools menu on this phone that's got a voice command, which enables the phone to literally say the date and time, which I'm going to do right now. Okay?
Say a command. January 19th, Sunday, 11:05 a.m.
Okay, now, in order for me to be gang-stalked at this hiking area, they gotta know I'm here. Think about it this way. Shit, I'm gonna turn my phone back on, but think about it this way. This is the 4th hiking area I've been gang-stalked to. The 4th. The 4th. And I am harassed in the same way at this one that I was harassed at the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st one. And I made video files about how I was being harassed at the 3rd one, which was the one that I was at before I came here, that I was hiking at between March of 2012 and October of 2012. I made videos and published them within those months and calendar year at that hiking area, stating that individuals are getting up on the sidewalk and saying gang-stalk. That's their way to make sure that I realize that I'm being gang-stalked from place to place to place to place by repeating certain words and phrases along all my routes or specific physical gestures. That's right. Now, I made videos between March and October 2012 at that hiking area, which showed the actual hiking area, because the background of the landscape of that hiking area is clearly seen on those YouTube videos, and they were published in the months between March and October 2012, which showed me stating individuals were getting up on the sidewalk and saying GangStalked. I then moved out to La Jolla in mid-October 2012 to this area that I've been at now for 15 months. Today's date is January 19th, 2014, and the same exact methodology has been used on me practically every day at this hiking area, including by the individuals they set up 100 feet away. That's right. Which means basically in organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions, what they basically want you to notice is their harassment. They're called sensitization methods, where they will sensitize you to a word, phrase, physical gesture, sound, color, certain persons, and even certain types of people. Even certain types of vehicles. All you got to do is YouTube it. You know, to give you a good illustration concerning how they will sensitize a person to vehicles and colors is to go to YouTube and type in Bonnie, Oceanside, California, gang stalking. They're bombarding her with the color red for her to see everywhere she goes, by people wearing red along all of her routes, carrying red objects along all of her routes, and red vehicles appearing everywhere she goes. She could leave her home, and as soon as she walks out the door, red cars are going by her every day. Then she walks out the door and walks with her dog to the corner, and 7 vehicles will pass by her with the color red, and 3 people will walk by her wearing red clothes. It's sensory overload is what it is. And basically what they'll do is form associations in your mind doing other things while a person is wearing red as they're doing it. It's intentionally done to make the person know that the color red is associated to gang stalking. And then once they know that's been anchored in the target individual's mind, they will then, stop doing the other things they did to make her notice the red, and then just get around here and wear red. As a result, every time she notices it, she's reminded that she's being gang stalked. It's an overt way to let you know you're being stalked. And you can Google this. It's called color harassment and even vehicle harassment. Just Google it and you'll see I'm telling you the truth. So Bonnie's videos are exposing the factual realities of what's happening to her. And even the perpetrators will get online and say this woman's crazy. She thinks that just because somebody's carrying a red object or wearing red clothes or driving a red car, that they're stalking her because of it. She's paranoid. She's crazy. Because that's literally what organized stalking, gang stalking expeditions do. They will literally not intentionally do these things to make you feel stalked and harassed, but then they will call you crazy about it. It's called gaslighting, where they will intentionally anchor something in your mind, a word, phrase, physical gesture, sound, like specific ways of coughing and clearing your throat, and colors, and then represent what you've been sensitized to along all your routes. And then intentionally make sure that you notice it, and then continue to do it everywhere you go every day, and then call you crazy. That's called gaslighting, where they would try to literally psychologically undermine your perceptions about what's factually and actually happening. Now, there's a movie called Gaslight, that was made back in the 40s with Ingrid Bergman. Watch that entire movie about what her husband was doing to her. He was playing psychological mind games with her and then trying to make her think she was crazy concerning it. That's why the term gaslight is all over the internet in reference to it being a term that describes gang stalking methods because of the movie Gaslight. And actually the motivation why he was doing what he was doing to her in the movie, was to get her committed so he could take over her property and then find jewelry that was hidden in the house by one of her relatives. That's literally a method of gang stalking. Land co-opting, property co-opting, mortgage co-opting, trust fund liquidation, identity theft. That's right, by claiming a targeted individual is crazy and then attempting to take syndicated probate control of them to co-opt their finances, to exploit their insurance, and exploit them sexually in a syndicated run organized crime group home. And the only way that they can call them crazy is to bait them to open up to a syndicated cop about what they're factually experiencing, so the cop can file a falsified police report or an incident report, and then take these accumulated reports over time and whisk them before a judge and say this woman's crazy. She thinks people she don't know are stalking her. She's claiming people are doing all these weird and bizarre things against her, and as a result of her being delusional, we think that we need to make her a ward of the state. They then put me in a syndicated run group home as a result of taking syndicated probate control, and they co-opt my finances as a result. And these homes can hold anywhere between 7 to 11 different people that are on disability, and all of their finances and monthly checks are co-opted since they got the syndicated probate control. The expeditions also continue in these homes. for insurance fraud and for human trafficking. They're flipping houses. Because one mortgage, if you got 7 to 11 people staying in one home that have had their finances co-opted, the mortgage is being paid on an escalated scale. They then wait till the mortgage is paid, flip the property, and take the money. They intentionally create homelessness of a target individual by getting landlords and property owners on board to create the evictions, or will get postal employees on board. Mail theft and mail delayment, including rent. That's right, to create the homelessness. Then they create the homelessness and then keep it managed by stalking and observing the target overtly and covertly to see if the target individual is attempting to rent another apartment. They wait until that target individual leaves that apartment complex where they filled out a tenancy application. They wait until the target individual leaves that apartment building and will either call the landlord or property owner or approach them with a badge and tell the property owner or landlord a bunch of lies about the target to get that landlord not to rent to the target in order to keep the homelessness continued. Because they got to make it appear that them eventually applying for the syndicated probate control is happening because of their claims stating that the target is crazy and delusional because they're claiming they're being stalked by people they don't know, and that because they're homeless and won't get out of it even though they got money. Which means they're trying to imply that the target cannot take care of themselves. The only way that they can take syndicated probate control of a person is by trying to show and prove to the state that the target's either crazy, a threat to themselves or others, or cannot take care of themselves. Now, as far as them being a threat to themselves or others, that's why the target individual is provoked along their routes and harassed along their routes. And I'm about ready to prove it to you in this particular video file. My name is Leslie Williams. I am in San Diego, California. Do you hear these guys say GangStalk, GangStalking, and GangStalking? I'm going to F you up as they appear on a sidewalk and harass me and threaten me. And they're making sure that I know that this harassment event and the threats are happening because of GangStalking, and that's why they're saying GangStalking as it's occurring. You be the judge. Do you hear them say it as they're harassing me and threatening me? And is one of these individuals directly connected to a specific number-coded HA location that has been put in an email prediction that was sent to myself and then printed out on December 2nd, 2013. Do you hear them say GangStalk, GangStalking, and GangStalking? I'm going to F you up. Boom. Now that is psychic driving. Psychic driving is meaning that they're trying to steer my thinking and my emotional responses as a result of this harassment and the threats. And they're making sure that I know that it's happening because of GangStalking. That's why they're saying GangStalking, I'm going to F you up, and GangStalk. In order to steer my thinking to overtly let me, in this event, they're directly letting me know it's because of GangStalking. In order to steer my thinking to let me know that this harassment and the threat is because of GangStalking. As a result, I have mental responses to it and emotional responses about it. Psychic driving, where they're steering your thinking based on the harassment. And then when you try to report it to the police, they'll call you delusional and make a police report concerning it. And this is how they get the syndicated probate control. I hope I have illustrated to you, at least right now, a preliminary introduction to psychic driving connected to organized stalking. I appreciate you listening. Please look in the description of this YouTube video for the YouTube titles pertaining to the other 3 videos that this one is stemming from. It's a 4-part video series. I appreciate you listening, and have a nice day.